Hey guys, welcome back once again. For those of you new here, hello and welcome. My name is Evie and we are back playing some Planet Zoo finally. Now I do apologize for the extended break in between episodes, but I got a little bit of a combination of burnt out and life just got a little bit more hectic, so apologies. But we are back in full swing now. I have filmed this episode and the next episode of the Dorado Zoo at the time that I am doing this voiceover, with the end in sight. I think there will be 2 more episodes after the next one, and then the entire Dorado Zoo will be finished. Of course, this zoo is just showcasing, more than anything, what you get in the DLC pack of the South American DLC, obviously. Now, I really, really like this DLC. I find it hard to use themed building stuff when you're not doing that theme entirely. Like, I get you can do themed sections of zoos and stuff, but this just, I felt, was the best way to just dive in headfirst and throw myself into this entire theme. Now, I will admit I use more of like the bricks that you see here, the temple pieces, I think that's what they're called, more than the bamboo. I'm not really feeling the bamboo? I mean, sure, we can call it that, the bamboo that much. I think that although it is a nice building bit, it just doesn't quite vibe with this one as much. And I just love the idea of like a ruined El Dorado golden temple. It's just, I love the movie El Dorado. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Pause this video, go watch it right now, and then come back and let me know that you've watched it, please. It is now a requirement. But no, this is just really, really fun to play around with. It can be hard to make these pieces not seem too repetitive, as I am just recycling pretty much 4 to 5 bits of like building material in ways that hopefully come across as not repetitive. Now, lucky that this is actually a game and not a real zoo, because there is some large holes in the barrier of this enclosure that in real life a Capuchin monkey could definitely squeeze its little butt through. But thankfully, the AI in this doesn't register that those holes are there. So it looks like they could escape, but I promise you they cannot. I've tested it with babies, I've tested it with big boys, and they cannot escape anymore, thankfully. There was a couple of cheeky escapes, but look, we've solved that problem. Now, I really liked the vibe of the bathhouse that I did in the last episode, but I wanted something that the monkeys could kind of climb on. Now, when building this, I didn't realize that the monkeys couldn't climb on the actual building pieces that I'm using. So when I put that top structure up the top, that would have been like the second floor. I thought maybe I could put the monkeys up there, but the monkeys can't actually traverse on top of that, which was a little bit disappointing. So I ended up going through and placing more of like a wooden climbing frame than anything else, which works. I just would have liked it to look more like they were just overrun the temple and nothing had been done to it. And when this company had taken over this zoo, they've just kind of barricaded it off and left the monkeys where they are and hadn't done anything really to the habitat other than putting a walkway through it. Which is another reason why I wanted these climbing structures, because this is a walk-through habitat. I wanted them to feel like the monkeys were kind of overhead. They were climbing everywhere, flying around. Like, I started with just like a nice casual 4 Capuchin monkeys in this enclosure, and by the end of it, I ended up buying more. The 4 of them didn't produce like 40, just to clarify, but there is close to 30 something Capuchin monkeys in this habitat, which is still plenty enough space. It's just fucking chaotic. Like, it is, oh lord, it is very, very full on. As I am recording this though, the new DLC, which is the African pack, which includes the meerkats, the fennec fox, the white rhinoceros, and the African penguin, I forgot for a second there, is coming out in like 10 hours or something. I'm actually really excited. Those animals are so freaking cute. The meerkats, of course, come with a new digging animation, which we have not seen in this, so there will be a patch coming with that DLC, which I'm pretty pumped for, not gonna lie, as well as, what is it there? I think there's mesh fences coming and more scenery, a couple more building pieces, which We love free content with that patch update. And then of course there is, I think they're going for more of like an Egyptian style theme in this next DLC. Like that's more of the vibe of it, as we do already have a African theme that came with the base game here. So I'm pretty pumped to see where they go with that. It's gonna be so goddamn good. The animals look incredible compared to the Binturong from the the last pack that caused an absolute uproar. If you missed that, you must have been living under a rock, because Frontier and Planet Zoo usually do a stellar job when it comes to the actual textures and skins of the animals, but they just missed the mark ever so slightly with this one. But they fixed it, they made it beautiful, and I will be, of course, doing a similar style zoo with that pack as well. The Southeast Asia pack, as it did come with 8 animals and no scenery or building pieces, so I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to go about building that. I will go through and actually show all the animals, and I will just build enclosures that I think they would suit. Of course, it will not be showcasing building pieces and whatnot. But I will also, I'm making a lot of promises here, and you guys can hold me to it. I will be finishing the Australia house very, very shortly. I think maybe, don't hold me to it, in between this episode of the Dorado Zoo and the next episode, I might throw in a sneaky release of the final Australian house habitat build. And then I'll take you through a walkthrough of it, because I'm pretty pumped for it, not gonna lie. I have just got my creative juices black? No, they're not black. My creative wow, I actually cannot talk. My creative juices are just flowing. It's like an Amazonian river right now. They are just spilling out left, right, and center, and I am so keen. I have been playing this game with a couple of friends recently, which this isn't a game that you'd think you would be able to actually play with friends. But we have just been getting in a Discord call, sharing our screens together, and just creatively building and going through some of the campaigns and stuff, just doing our own thing, but kind of, it's like you're almost sitting in a room with them playing all the same game however you want, which is really nice. It's not something that I've ever done before, and it's just nice sometimes to play a relaxing game and not have to, like, you know how multiplayer games usually like require your attention, it's a team kind of situation. This is just nice. It's just playing games with friends, and it's really soothing and really stunning. I actually can't wait to take you guys through a walkthrough of the final finished zoo here. It's taken that long, and it's kind of the first zoo that I will have ever really completed. I know it is really small. It only has 4 habitats, and it will include an exhibit, which will be another just a kind of speed build of the situation that I'm going to have set up for the red-eyed green tree frog. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I can picture it in my head. I'm terrible with names. Which I was playing around last night trying to figure out how I wanted that to be built, and I think I've finally nailed it down and I've got it how I want. So I'm pretty keen to get that filmed for you guys. Now you can see here I am actually trying to, at this stage I don't realize that the monkey can't actually walk on the blocks that I've got set up everywhere, which is really quite sad and disappointing. You can see all of the escape areas. Don't worry, I fixed that. I even play around a little bit with trying to sink a wooden climbing, the 4 meter by 4 meter or whatever it is, down into, you can see here, the actual brick, trying to hope that I could get it to make it look like they were walking on there, but it just really wasn't working how I wanted, which was really quite disappointing. So instead I just say, screw it, let's put in a cheeky like climbing frame all over. I put the only way that you can get to it is on vines, as I really wanted to see a lot of the vine climbing animations, as I feel like most of the time the climbing structures I build don't have the vines and stuff, it's just the logs, and it's easy for them to climb around, but I really wanted to see the vine climbing animations, and boy oh boy does it get hectic when there's so many, as well as I wanted to have just some platforms that they had to jump to get to, because the Capuchin monkeys have quite large jumps on them, as I'm assuming most monkeys do. I'm not too sure. If you guys want to let me know down below what animal is your favorite in Planet Zoo so far, I would love to hear it. I always come back to like the giant anteaters. I don't know, they're just such funky little critters. They're so weird looking and so cute at the same time, and I feel like saying that I haven't played much with the aquatic DLC yet, nor have I played a lot with the Southeast Asian DLC yet either, although I do know that the Barbaroussa or something like that, the weird hairless goddamn pigs with the giant tusks. The uglier the animal, the more likely I am to be drawn towards it, I'm not gonna lie. So let me know down below what animal is your favorite so far as well. The plants, I will admit I didn't stick to just the South American ones in some parts of this zoo. I did just go with whatever I thought looked the best. I really did try and steer clear of any other building items that were in a DLC, so if you guys did want to download this from the Steam workshop, which I will of course have all of this entire zoo up there afterwards. If you guys do want the individual habitats, please let me know as well, and I can definitely try and get that on there for you guys. I wanted to keep it pretty much specifically just to this DLC and the base pack, so it is available for you guys to download and use and not have to have a whole heap of them. I have a newfound love. It was rocks to begin with. Rocks still hold a beautiful place in my heart, but these vines that I'm placing everywhere, the moss as well, it just ties a place together, as well as this tamarind tree. You lower that into the ground and it is, beautiful, stunning, 10 out of 10. 2 chef kisses you get for that. There's the second one. It is almost up there with that other plant that I can never remember the name of, that I love. You see it, look, it's there, it's everywhere, it's in every corner of this goddamn zoo. I love it so much. This is probably the only habitat that I don't have a waterfall in. I know, that hurt to say. I felt like I couldn't put a waterfall in every single zoo. So these little monkeys just get a single little water tap to drink from. I don't know, maybe this building back in the day had plumbing. Who knows? I'm gonna say probably not, but we're gonna pretend that it did. So, I know, it pains me to not put a waterfall or a running river through it, but the manipulating of this terrain in this actual map is not as easy because it is already so manipulated, so it can get a little bit tricky trying to make things nice and smooth. Like, this entire enclosure was actually sloped quite steep on one side. The jaguar habitat that I do in the next episode, so lopsided, so high on one side, so low on the other, it's actually ridiculous. And I can't wait for you guys to see the stairs that I built up to this. You kind of just saw a snippet of it then, but it is one of my proudest achievements to make it kind of look flawless working with paths. And I did it, my dudes. I actually did it. Now, I don't know why in my brain I said, yes, I want to make my own kind of nice little simple curb structures to make it tie in around the place, because I have hand placed, I'm going to say close to 600 of those tiny little blocks along the path. And I'm just not enjoying it anymore. You know when you start a task and you're like, this looks great, but you only do it over a small area, and then you realize that you actually have to do it continually through the entire zoo? No, just me? Okay, that's fine. I am also planning on doing a nice small, like, aquatic zoo. Sorry, I just realized how much I sounded like a duck when I said aquatic. To showcase, of course, that DLC also, but I don't know if I want to do that one first or the Southeast Asian just animal pack, so you guys let me know down below which one you guys would prefer to see, because of course I prefer to create the content that you would like to see, although I will create them both eventually. Now, I had to, because it had been so long in between builds, actually scoot my boot back to certain areas in the zoo and look at what I'd done, because I'm like, I don't want to place the chairs and the bins that came with this pack. They are nice and I do use them throughout the zoo, but they are quite full on. Like, they are the center of attention. They catch your eye a lot. And I didn't quite want that. I wanted something that just like blended in a little bit. I realize gold doesn't really blend in most situations, but I feel like a gold plated bin is so extravagant, it's ridiculous. The speed build is wrapping up right now though. I am almost finished. I just gotta chuck the animals in and then you will get a nice walkthrough of the enclosure. But if you guys did enjoy, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Buddha Desa.